Dit is from That's for Psychiatry. It's a Dutch official paper for the psychiatrists in the Netherlands. And my mother works as a child and youth psychiatrist, and she has to subscribe to this. It is a monthly newsletter, or a monthly newsletter depicting practically the newest diseases or psychiatric diseases that are among the population, and even describes new diagnoses of possible new ailments and so on. It is a official paper, a research paper actually, and it is, if you can read it, het Incubus Phenomenon, in slaapgerichte stoornis, niet verwarren met psychose. The Incubus Phenomenon. It's a sleep-related illness, apparently. You should not confuse it with a psychosis. Het Incubus Phenomenon is een paroxysimaal verschijnsel dat wordt gekenmerkt door een slaapparalyse met sensed presence en de angstaanjagende beleving dat een wezen op de thorax drukt. Well, they say it is a feeling of an entity being on your thorax or in your upper body, and while you're asleep you sense it, or you even sense it during the day, and it says it is an official diagnosis. Of course, it again goes on to say that it's your subconscious mind somehow. It is a not psychotic episode, but it is a disease of the mind that you believe to see this entity. Sometimes people even see this entity or demon or incubus or succubus with their eyes or third eye, and they see it on their thorax or on their belly. Here it's portrayed as a small demon, you know, but it's actually, these entities look like us. Most of them do. Of course, there are also other entities. Fairies, as an example, the mythological entities believed to be so small and with wings, they could also exist because it's a different world. Even the so-called beliefs of mythological entities in nature, spiritism, it's a totally different world out there. And some people even believe that they're in contact with other etheric entities that tell them what to do. Well, here I quote: in wezen op zich te voelen. De ervaring heeft wakker te zijn. The sleeping person has the ability of, appears to be awake, or believes he is awake. De slapende persoon die de ervaring heeft wakker te zijn, in wezen op zich te voelen drukken of zich niet te kunnen bewegen. Het wezen kan daarbij zichtbaar zijn in een vorm van een schim, dier, mens of demon, zittend op dingen op de thorax. De aanval kan beginnen met een schreeuw, maar daarna is het doorgaans mutistisch. Well, here they portrayed really negatively that these patients feel a presence on their belly, and sometimes they see it during their in between phase of being awake and asleep. There's still a conscious phase where you actually can step outside of your body. According to William Woolman's book, Adventures Beyond the Body, my own experiences, there is a moment in between the sleep state and the awake state where you are connected to the other world. Yeah? And theoretically you can step out of your body and you are awake. And in this state you can also see the other world better. So you can see practically this female type entity. Well, with me, I also feel her presence, like according to the symptoms described in this official Time magazine for Psychiatry in the Netherlands. There are people who have these mental illnesses, but in reality I believe that they're all real entities. For me, I can sense her presence right here in front of me, and even if you would be with me, you could feel it, because I can feel with the hand a warming or a force field actually, and I can even touch her hair and I feel her hair even because it's so fine. The hair of her is really long actually. Sometimes I even stray so long as practically until the butt actually, that's how long the hair is. But in the other world, it's also different. Yeah, you can also change your appearance. Nevertheless, you have a state of appearance what you see yourself the best in. That is why during an OBE, astral projection, you have a feeling of being 23 years old, mostly, good looking, how you view yourself, just compared to being young, and how you yourself wanting to look, but in a realistic manner. You still recognize yourself, but you look at yourself and think, oh, wow, incredible. I'm practically an inner projection of how you want to view yourself, in a how you see yourself. So I outside of my body looked apparently at this age a little bit younger, but I did it in 2007 mostly. My highest activity of OBEs and astral projection was back then. Today everything I do on the other world is with non-locality, or with when remote viewers, or when others astral project, they can theoretically visit me. I've had numerous encounters in this manner. And I can't order them to fly by a UFO or a cigar-shaped UFO. I wish I could. I don't know if in the future it might be possible to actually have a flyby. I believe that they are really busy up there, and they can't just, for the fun, show themselves to everybody on this planet. I believe I've seen UFOs in the past, and in 1988, in the Tenerife, the Canary Islands, I saw the bell-shaped crafts glowing in the night, and they were going zigzag maneuvers. Yeah? 3 of them or 2 of them at a time, and we woke up often at 1 o'clock at night because we lived outside in one of those mobile homes, me and my sister, and we woke up and we came outside and saw these UFOs, or Imperial Germans bell-shaped crafts. Well, there is an entire article about the so-called Incubus and Succubus Phenomenon. Incubus for males and succubuses for females. Historical perspective. Nauwkeurige beschrijving van het Incubus Phenomenon komen reeds voor in geschriften uit de klassieke oudheid. There are detailed analysis from the Incubus Phenomenon dating from the classical Old Age. The Greek Artemison of Laodica, 123-43 before Christ, used the name Pnigalion to practically depict the Incubus Phenomenon. But there were many other names used, like Pan, Ephialtes, Hepalos, Ephelis, Typhus, Fuhunas, Inus, Incubo, and Faunus Vicarius. These names stand for demons, ghosts, or gods that can accompany a human male or human female and can actually interact with mortals. The climbing on the chest is a recurring phenomenon in all these depictions. Augustinus, 340 to 430 after Christ, and other church fathers from the first centuries after Christ conceptualized the incubus as a fallen angel that wants to lust sexually and seek sexual contact with women that lie on them. Well, these were the Christians that started depicting them in this manner as evil. Even the Roman doctor Gaius Aurelianus uit de 5e eeuw na Christus, after the 5th century after Christ, described the characteristical pressing feeling on the chest, practically the not getting air feel of incredible visions that appeared during the sleep state. This is from Brockton, 1980. However, the belief of the Incubus Phenomenon, believed as a metaphysical manifestation of an entity, continued to exist to the beginning of the 19th century. This is when the people still believed in incubuses and succubuses and spirit entities influencing some human lives. So the mid-19th century was still believed that. But then, of course, official psychiatry took over. Transcultural perspective. The incubus phenomenon is described in many cultures. The identity is practically from the entity that is lying in your chest is changes from culture to culture. So, as an example, in the Caribbean island of Saint Lucia, they talk of Kokma, the spirits of the dead, or the spirit of the passed away ones. In Mexico, va me subia el muerto, the death arise. It's negative, it's really negative. In Islamic countries, it's called the jinns, creatures that were created by Allah from smokeless fire. In Morocco, it is called boratat, also the incubus phenomenon. In Turkey, the jinns are described as sinler. The jinns are described as sinler, the evil spirits, and the incubus phenomenon is karabasan in Turkey. In Cambodia, the term kmach sankar is used. The ghost that pushes you, en wordt het fenomeen geassocieerd met de geest van iemand die in het tijdperk van de Rode Khmer is omgebracht. And the spirit is associated with the time that people were killed in the Kemet massacres, and that these probably are still ghosts from the dead people or something. Yeah, ghost spirits pressing upon you. In Hong Kong, the word yan is used. In Chinese literature, it is practically a putting together of the symbol of pressure and ghost. So you feel a pressure on your thorax or on your chest, which I feel always. When I go to bed, I sense it more because I lie down, but then I feel somebody pushing on my chest and practically giving me thoughts and conversing with me. This is my succubus, Isaias, but at the same time there's a second entity in my back that only makes itself known rarely. When I have too much attention to Isaias, as an example, then she gives me a thought, well, she is there as a control factor as well. There are two ghosts with me, actually. It's incredible, no? And in Japan, it is called kanashibari, bounded by metal. Only in Germany, around 40 people of a small group that they analyzed had this incubus phenomenon, and 62% chance that it is a lifetime companionship, that you cannot just put it away. With me, these entities, they are all the time there. Sometimes I just forget about them, but then it's like they're dozing or sleeping, and then they wake up and say hello. I've seen them from my third eye during an OBE. Beautiful women, actually, Aryan women. And yeah, it's difficult to explain this to people that have not experienced it by themselves. Nevertheless, this article, that is an official paper again, it's totally detailed. Fenomenologische karakteristieken, 3 factoren, structuur, epidemiologie. That is how wide it's spread, actually. The historical perspective, the treatment, transcultural perspective, diagnosis and prognosis, treatment as well. Of course, now official psychiatry states that this, what I endured or my own experiences, is totally made up by my own brain, electrochemical processes in the brain, or during a sleep and REM phase, that something goes wrong and that you actually see these entities and something is created out of your subconscious mind, that it is you that actually create this by projection or something like that. Where we could see in the history that all these cultures globally have this experience of people that just started being honest with them and talked about their own experiences, and they started believing in them. And they believed in ghosts, they believed in metaphysics, they believed in the other world. You must know that these cultures globally still have a superstition. But it is not superstition, it's logic, it's the reality we live in. The reality we live in is like a real-time strategy, a real-time role-playing game. It's more with magic, CK, with spirits, demons, angels, gods, vampires, or even etheric, even the unicorn. Apparently, how I believe that these metaphysical entities exist in the other world, and that we have seen these metaphysical entities with our third eye, or have experienced the other world by getting in touch with these spirits of nature or other realms, and that we lost contact with the other world, and hence we are actually destroying this planet. Or if we would really have contact with the other world and be in peace with the other world, we would treat this planet as it would be treated, in a nice ecological friendly manner. And that's what the people talk about, the loss to nature. I believe it's lost to the other world, the lost touch of the spirit, the life force of reality, of this multitude of the other world and this world at the same time. Back in the 1800s, they believed they had books depicting all these entities in a negative fashion because of the church, actually. But they had books that portrayed these metaphysical entities, and the books portrayed them as being real existent. And today, everything that is from the other world is depicted as a psychiatric illness of your own mind to prevent any type of contact with the other world. Yes, you can talk to God, in theory. It's possible. But many indigenous populations globally, the Indians in South America still, they still believe in this superstitious world. And even the Africans, and even the Tahitians or Haitians, I don't know. All these indigenous cultures, even the Indians of America, they believe in the great Manitou. We atheistical philosophies that have been created by the Western world, by the Zionist-controlled Western world, have indoctrinated us with such a belief structure that you do not believe that there is any type of other world, that you don't have a soul, that you're nothing but your material body, and that you're an electrochemical process in your brain that at the end of its life just dies out, like a light bulb, and that your consciousness ceases to exist, and it just goes out. They have kept you in this cage, actually, of that belief structure, and in this cage, you're trapped. At least most of you people, not, I believe most of that would be watching my videos since a long time. Hopefully they did their own experiences or are more open to this. Official psychiatry recognizes the existence of this ailment as incubuses and succubuses and other spirit forms that practically haunt their victims. With me, it has been a really horrible experience the last 7-8 years. I don't talk about this much in my videos, but my spirit guardians always help me. Well, I wanted to make a video about psychiatry and Incubus and the Succubus Phenomenon. Cheers. Well, a short recap now. We know that official psychiatry recognizes this as a sickness of the mind or a disease of the mind, a psychiatric ailment. So it says it's all a projection of your inner brainial, connections on how they project it outward and it's inward. But all these people that claim to state this believe this to be real, and for them it's a real phenomenon. Okay, and who are you going to believe now? Official science? That has been introduced since the last 100 years, actually, official psychiatry, or since the 1850s or since the 1900s, people believed that this was normal, yeah, in all cultures in the world. Well, cheers, greetings from the other world, and yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Cheers.